Hello, and welcome to Moscato and Tea. This is the show for all things beauty, business, and community with your hosts, Inez and Chiquita, keeping it raw, real, and unfiltered.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm good. A little tired today.
Oh, they partying?
Girl, I wish I was partying. I'm just tired.
Yeah.
Has so much going on.
Well, that's a good thing.
Well, of course. But, the lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's catching up. Mm-hmm. And then I woke up this morning. I was like, oh, shit, I'm late.
Yes. Got to get, we got some Moscato.
I was going to say, girl, you already know what's going to wake me up.
Yeah. Happy hour somewhere?
Every day.
Woo-hoo.
Every day.
Let's get it.
Every day.
All day. All right.
All the time.
I'm going to get you a little something just to wake you up.
Perfect. Let's get it. Introduce?
Yes. Let's get it popping because we got an exciting guest today.
Yes, we do. And I'm going to be super biased.
That's good.
Okay. I'm going to be super duper. So all y'all out there just realize I'm going to be extra biased because.
Very extra.
Today in the house we have my handsome nephew.
Yes. Ladies. Oh, you got a girlfriend?
No.
All right.
Okay. Well,
ladies.
Can I introduce the man? Okay, please. Yeah, my handsome nephew, Omer Antonio Laval is here. Who he is
Cool
the.
name.
Oh, I know, right? You got to be Latino with that at 17 names. So he's here today because he was the one who produced our new music.
Yes.
And so I wanted to bring him in, talk a little bit, let's see what's cracking in the life of Omer Laval. All right. Welcome.
How are you?
Good. Thank you. What a warm welcome.
Yes. You got an auntie like this, she just, she's
when do I ever do anything?
Exactly.
Ever little.
She's extra, so.
Right.
He knows me.
Yeah.
He already knows I always do everything always extra.
It's good. It's all good. Well, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us today. We just wanted to, have you come in and just talk a little bit about your process, how you got started,
where you going and where you been, where you going. Oh, and by the way, you want to, we always do cheers.
Cheers.
We always cheers to start with, we already cracked the bottle open and hey.
We've been on it already, y'all.
So we can get the tea on you.
She is so extra.
Anyways, so darling, go ahead and so basically tell everybody what are you doing, how you got started, why music? Because I've known you your whole life, but what made you? We were just talking about all these different things. So what made you decide that was going to be your major and so forth?
So when I was younger, and you'll remember this, but I always wanted to play basketball, and I remember the conversations that we had. I remember the conversations that we had where you were like, are you sure is that what you really want to do? And so I played basketball in middle school, and then my mom took me out in 8th grade because I didn't have the grades. She wasn't satisfied with them. So that she took me out, and then when I got into high school, I didn't try out for basketball anymore. So for about 2 years, I was just kind of chilling, not really focusing on on what I was gonna do in the future, and having the high school life or whatever. And then when I was a sophomore, junior, I started really thinking about it, that I wanted to make music because I always feel I've been very affected heavily by music, whether it's emotionally or mentally or whatever. And I would always have people make comments to me. I remember people would be like, oh, you're always tapping, do you play drums or something? And I was like, no. And then eventually I just thought about it, and I was like, man, I'm always people are always saying something about me with sound or rhythm or they like my music taste or whatever. So then eventually I was just okay, I gotta do something like this. And low key, I always wanted to be some sort of musical performer. And you see people on TV as a young kid, and then you're just I want to do that. That looks fun, So yeah, once I got into high school, my dad helped me out, and we split the money on some software and some hardware. And I started making music on it. Once I moved to college, I got serious with it, and I started really practicing. And now I work at a recording studio, and I'm doing some freelance work. Nice. And I got some projects on the way. So. All
right.
Yep, I remember. Okay, so we're pretty much a very musical quote unquote family. My dad is his grandfather's a super music connoisseur, has a ton of like old school records. Who keeps records? But my dad, and then even the kids are always around. My dad was always playing music. We were always around music, like, parties, like his mom's side of the family, like everybody. We were just very,
parties.
all kinds of parties, all kinds of music,
Yeah.
all kinds of things. And then, back in the day when we was real popular, myself got the Wii, and then we had like Guitar Hero, we had DJ Hero, we had so we would always be playing, and Omar's like, we got to get the DJ one. So we were like sitting there pretending we were DJs.
Lord, I
and you already know, I pushed the kids out the way and I was always a
Taking
control,
over.
always, and then we'd get mad. But we'd play Guitar Hero, and we would go against each other. And he was actually really talented, like very naturally talented to be able to. So when he said he wanted to do this, I was like, oh, okay, I'm not mad at it because so forth. So.
Is there a specific type of music you gravitate more towards, or are you just all genres you love?
Hip hop, most definitely, just because that's what I like grew up on, and like just naturally what resonated with me at the time. Like I remember, I think I was in 3rd grade, and my sister was in 5th grade, and she got a gift, this is crazy. I still don't understand it, but her friend got her a gift in 5th grade, and it was 50 Cent's The Massacre.
Okay.
And it was the explicit version.
Oh my Lord.
Right. So my sister's in 5th grade, I'm in 3rd grade, and then we're just like listening to it. My mom's like, let's us listen to this CD, right? And like that's like one of the first, like I listened to the whole album, and that's like the first exposure I get of like a full album of like, someone who's in, like he's in gangster rap. So he like, you get that whole vision of what he's doing, what he's about, and what he's trying to do and all that stuff. And I was just like, whoa. Yeah. I was like, this is hard. I was like, wow. And then from there on out, I was just like getting more and more into it. And then when I was in middle school, I think I started getting more into like underground music. And I had help from some friends who would suggest artists to me. But like, as I get older, I just want to expand more, and I'm trying to go back to like the roots and trying to see where all the music is coming from. So
nice. So what do you think about the industry right now and everything and how it's going? Especially in the hip hop industry, and I know there's a lot of like, what do they call it? Mumbling rap,
mumble rap.
Yeah,
I was like,
a
what
little
the
this, a little Zane, a little Tay. Like, what is all this?
Oh
a
my
little
Lord.
Uzi. Like, what is happening? It's a lot of littles.
So the industry in general, they're doing their thing. They're finding a way to capitalize as usual. With like streaming services and stuff, people are a little worried, but like they're gonna find a way to adapt eventually. But there's always gonna be that kind of like, you got to let the dead skin go. So then there's gonna be new companies and new things coming out. But in rap and hip hop specifically, I think so. It's like, this might sound weird, but I think we're in a really good time musically, and I think we're like in a new era. Like, how there's the golden era, I think we're in like a new era. And I'm not including all of the Lils in here, you know what I'm saying? Some of them, have potential, and they're doing something right, but a lot of it is just, extra noise, of course. So but I think it's really good. Like just right now, like all Nas album just dropped, and we had Kid Cudi and Ye, and we had Ye, Pusha T. We had all the good music people, right? We have people like Cole and Kendrick, and then we have other people who are a little more underground, Mick Jenkins. We have Earth Gang, JID. Like all these people they're doing really well, and they're making a lot of noise. Obviously it's not in the forefront because it's not pop, or it's not, it's not what the face of radio and TV wants. But it's definitely there. You just got to search for it. And I think all the talent and all the amount of work that's coming out is amazing at the moment.
Well, I always have something to say, but this young man now, this grown man, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to, I'll be like, oh, I still see him as my little baby, but he's a grown man.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I know, he already knows. He's used to it. He knows me. So with that said, I know that you're getting ready to graduate next semester from SF State. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So what are... you're already working, and you're already making music, and you're already doing something. So, I know you did something for us, but what if somebody wanted to work with you, or,
Right.
find you, or how can people look at what you're doing? Let our audience know how they can look you up, where they can find you, what's your Instagram, what is it? And then, kind of kind of go from there, and then we'll go into like some other stuff. But I just want to be able to give you that platform to let people know how they can get a hold of you.
Yes. So I am at my alias name is Level Mental, LVLD Mental, and you can find me at that everywhere. I think on Twitter, even though I don't use Twitter, is Leveled Mentally. So LVLD MENTALLY.
So that means you got to get on Twitter more.
I know that's where it's at. I
Yeah.
don't be
Yeah,
on Twitter, but I know that's where it's at.
Taking off.
It's really, I'm still trying to figure this Twitter.
Like, the president's on Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm not on Twitter. You know what I'm saying?
If he can do it, we can all do it.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, and right now, mainly I have my main focus through SoundCloud and Bandcamp. I'm going to try and focus more on Bandcamp because that is a good money maker. That's good financially. And SoundCloud will probably be, I think will be dying off within the next couple years or something. Yeah, so I'm not too sure about that. But and then eventually I'm going to be trying to get on Spotify and Apple Music, which actually is not too hard nowadays as an independent artist. So that'll be pretty soon. But I'll have a couple projects coming out. I have one coming out before the end of the summer, and then I'll have one before another one before the end of the year.
Awesome. So we'll definitely keep you posted on his projects, so that way you can hear it, you can listen to it, you know, you can support, you can support him. And so, if you could work with anybody right now in the industry, like who would you work with and why? Because we've just been talking about that. I mean, I know I'm putting you like right now, like if they called you and be like, yo, you would drop everything for and be like, okay, I'm going to work with.
Okay, I might have to give like two answers.
Okay.
If anybody in good music called me, or if anybody in TDE called me, I would drop everything and go for sure. For sure.
Okay, why? I'm just curious.
Why? Because good music and TDE. Actually, I'm sorry. I'm gonna give three answers, because if anybody, this is more, that's like West Coast and South, you know. But East Coast, I think ASAP Mob and all them, and ASAP, if they call me too, because I think all three of them are all constantly trying to do something innovative, you know, and trying to push the envelope further and further, and that's why they're still at the top all right now, you know. Especially good music's been at the top since I was a kid. So I mean, if any of them call me, I don't know, I would be shaking, trembling. I don't even know if I would be able to play some.
Yeah, you'd be like totally fanning out, but trying to be cool at the same time. Like, oh my God. Yeah, you know, we got this. But, you know, that's all good. So, as far as like musically, are you playing any instruments? Like, what, you know, what's your process in creating? Like, what makes you decide that all of a sudden, like, you think of something? Like when we asked you, you know, when we asked you, when I called you and said, hey, I know you're into this producing, what, you want to make some music for us? You were like, yeah. What is your process? Like, what made you come up with the process, let's say, for our music? How did that go about?
So, I play keys, like I play the piano a little bit, and pretty much self-taught. I took some classes when I was in college, but I started teaching myself in high school. Right now I'm learning how to play the bass, and then I'm going to play the guitar and then the drums. So I'm trying to learn as much as I can. I'm a little late to it, but this is the interesting thing that I think will make me sound different than a lot of other artists. Is I had the technical upbringing first, and then I had the musical afterwards. So I have more of like a technical mindset when I'm thinking about creating, and then the music always will come naturally. But that's where the strength is right now for sure. So in creating my process, I really try not to make it a routine. I always try and switch it up. So if I'm feeling just like a certain vibe, and I'm just like, oh, I just want to make something that sounds like this, or maybe I'll get inspired from something else, or maybe I'm just like, I want to practice doing drums, or I want to practice doing like chord progressions and whatever. So sometimes it's just from messing around and practicing, and then other times I actually have a focus, or I have like an actual topic in mind that I'm trying to translate. But for this show, this was pretty funny actually. I was just thinking, man, everything happens for a reason, because I actually made that beat before you guys asked me, right? And I made it, and I was like, this sounds so solid, like I want it to be for something, but I don't know what. And I was like, I don't know if it sounds right for me. Like, so I was like thinking about all the people who I could like send it to, and then you hit me up, and I was like I think this is the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I already knew you guys were gonna like the one that you guys liked before, like because I sent you the other two just in case.
Right.
And those